To Staff Sergeant Joe Giordano, way to go, buddy. Congratulations, nice job. Cold water and cool you off. Thanks, buddy.
Jet exhaust to allow vertical takeoffs, but from the left, look at Art Nalls, a very well-known guy on the air show circuit today. He is flying what looks like your average Harrier, as if you can call a Harrier average. In point of fact, the Royal Navy, after the original P1127 Kestrel experimental craft was deemed airworthy and that they could achieve vertical takeoff and landings by redirecting the thrust of the jet engine, vectoring it from straight behind the aircraft to straight down. The Royal Navy got to using Harriers even before the United States Marine Corps. A few years ago, the Royal Navy Sea Harriers were being taken out of service, and Art Nalls purchased one surplus from the Royal Navy. If you look to the right, here comes the Royal Navy Sea Harrier, known as the Char, right now. It has a 21,000 pound of thrust Rolls-Royce Pegasus engine in it. As a former Marine, Art Nalls flew the Harrier and even went to the United States Air Force Test Pilot School out in California, and then became a test pilot for the AV-8B Harrier 2 for the Marine Corps. He knows as much or more about the Harrier than any person on Earth. As a matter of fact, he actually was responsible for doing engine out testing of the Harrier. He then is qualified. We believe that he is the second fastest glider pilot in the world, second in speed only to the Space Shuttle, the world's largest and fastest glider. He has over 8 hours of engine out time in the Harrier. Take a look as he comes in and is going to do a demonstration of the short and vertical takeoff and landing capabilities of the Char. During the Falkland Islands War of 1982, Sea Harrier shot down 21 other aircraft with no Sea Harriers lost in combat. This particular one has had some redesignation as a radar aircraft with a very, very advanced radar put on it. Now what Art's going to do is going to come back in and slow the aircraft down and demonstrate the hovering capabilities by pulling the lever on his left hand and redirecting the jet exhaust from behind the aircraft to straight down. Those two jet exhaust nozzles are located immediately behind the wings on either side of the fuselage. There are two other nozzles that bleed air from the engine intake through an additional two nozzles right in front of the wing that help stabilize it. In addition to those four main nozzles, there are thrusters in the nose, in the tail, and the wingtips to allow it to maneuver from side to side, to back up, to turn on a dime without moving forward or backwards. So we're looking for Art to come back in here in just a moment to demonstrate that. This is a hot day, and at this particular weight, we believe that Art will still be able to make the aircraft take off and land vertically. Part of the system developed by Hopper Aircraft was a water injection system where 50 imperial gallons of distilled water are put in a tank, and on a hot day like today when they have to do a vertical takeoff, they will inject that distilled water into the engine to cool the engine, make it more efficient. Well, that water system is not currently operational in this aircraft. So watch Art as he approaches from the right at only about 100 miles an hour. He'll slow it as he reaches show center. Notice the bicycle landing gear with the is the wings. Soon it's going to be too noisy for me to be heard. I just want you to stand and watch and be amazed at Art Nalls in the Royal Navy Sea Harrier. He backed it up like a school bus. Art Nalls, again, an amazingly talented pilot. He has over 600 carrier landings as a Marine aviator in the Harrier. He's flown above the Arctic Circle, below the equator, and he's circumnavigated the globe, going to Beirut, Lebanon, 2 times. Once from the east and once from the west. He said on many occasions, looked like the same both times that he did it. The AV-8B Harrier has been for some time the mainstay of Marine Corps aviation, able to land at locations inaccessible by conventional aircraft. The Harrier is able to land and take off from the most austere conditions, be it a road, be it a field, either short takeoff and landing, or vertical takeoff and landing. The Marine Corps version of the Harrier is capable of carrying about 13,000 pounds of munitions. It's also equipped with a 25mm Gal 12 equalizer 5-barrel cannon with 300 rounds, 2 AIM-9 Sidewinder missiles, and lots of other bombs, rockets, or other missiles, all from the Hawker P1127 Kestrel, and becoming the Royal Navy Sea Harriers we see here today. This particular airplane was sold as government surplus. Art purchased it 3 years ago in the United Kingdom, and it took two years to import the airplane, reassemble it, and have the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, certify it for civilian flight. And it is the only privately owned flyable Harrier anywhere in the world, and we've got it right here at AirPower over Hampton Roads. Once again, let's take a look, and you listen. He took his bow with a tremendous performance. Let's hear it for Art Nalls in the Royal Navy. Navy Sea Harrier. Wonderful performance, Art. He can't hear us, but he's going to taxi by. Again, the only civilian-owned Sea Harrier in the flyable Harrier anywhere in the world. So this is one that's in there for the record books. We don't want you to miss it. If you've got cameras, make sure you're taking lots of pictures today. A very historic day here at Langley Air Force Base. As we want to thank all the folks at Langley for their incredible hospitality. Gotta tell you, Art Nalls is one of the happiest guys in the world. He's been flying L-39 built L-39 Albatrosses at air shows for a number of years, and to have this Sea Harrier flying in air shows is just a treat that so few of us get to enjoy. Now, in just a moment, we're going to be turning things over to the United States Air Force Academy Wings of